friends, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel, Sunset Bow Tarot. So I wanted to do a real quick video here to show you guys a comparison of the older edition of the Gorgon's Tarot, which is the full-size large edition, with the smaller 4.5-inch edition that's a special edition that Red Feather just came out with. So this was something that was really exciting for me because I got this deck quite recently. I've really been loving this deck. I've been enjoying it a lot. I think it's beautiful. It's a very cool, round, black and white, really strongly feminist deck, and I love so much about it. I've had some really fantastic readings with it, but my main issue with it is that it's enormous. It's so hard for me to handle. It's a combination of the cards being round and also being gigantic, and so I figured out a way to shuffle it. I can shuffle it, I can make it happen, but it's just not the easiest deck in the world for me to work with. So recently, Red Feather announced that they were coming out with a smaller edition of this deck, like a special edition that you can only order on their website. I'll put a link down below. The amazing thing about this special edition is that it was only $10. Including shipping, you guys. $10 including shipping for the smaller version of this fantastic deck. Now, for reasons which I will explain, you probably don't want to order the smaller edition unless you already have the larger edition, but let's just take a look at the difference between the smaller edition and the larger edition. So this is the main large edition of the Gorgon's Tarot. It comes in this nice box. It's a magnetic box. And here is the deck. As you can see, I do have small hands, but literally the deck is as big as my hand. Like it's huge. It's very hard for me to handle. The cards are really gigantic, but it's a fantastic deck. I'm not going to go through every card in this deck. There are other really good walkthroughs of this deck out there. I'll particularly direct you to one that was done by Lisa from Supportive Tarot. She did a really great, really in-depth walkthrough of this deck, which was 100% the reason that I bought it. This deck is totally Elisa made me do it. So I will direct you there if you want to see a full walkthrough and a description of all the cards and discussion of everything that's going on in this deck. But anyway, this is the deck. And then the other thing that the regular deck does come with is a nice little book. I really like this little book. It doesn't have a ton of information about each card, but I really like the way that the creator, whose name is Dolores Fitchy, writes about the different cards. And I like the way that she carries certain characters, especially some animal characters throughout the deck. There's just a lot of really cool aspects to this deck. I really think that it's wonderful. But again, the one drawback is it's quite difficult to work with. So enter the smaller edition of the Gorgon's Tarot, which I just received today. So let me just give you a little comparison here of the small edition and the large edition. You can see that it is quite a bit smaller. Here is the small version. Here, and we'll do it based on the backs. Well, either way, it's kind of hard for you guys to see probably, but as you can see, the small edition is significantly smaller than the large edition. I can actually get my whole hand around it. I'm going to be able to riffle shuffle this edition, which I'm super excited about. So it is really a nice size in comparison to the large edition. Everything else about it, the artwork, the fonts, everything, the cardstock is exactly the same. You can see that they both have the exact same glossy cardstock. The decks are exactly the same height. The cardstock is exactly the same thickness on the small edition as it is on the large edition. So everything else about it is exactly the same. It's just this nice smaller size. I believe this is 4.5 inches in diameter, this smaller size. So I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to make it much easier to handle. Now, the important thing to know about this small edition is that it is just the deck. It comes just the deck in shrink wrap. There's no box, there's no book, there's nothing else that comes along with it when you order it. aside from the deck. Now, given that this was $10 including shipping, I still think that that's an unbelievable deal. But if you're the kind of person like me where you like to have a box, you like to have a guidebook by the creator, then you would want to get both, potentially. You would want to have both the large edition and the small edition as sort of an adjunct. So just something that I wanted to make sure people were aware of is that if you do order this smaller edition direct from Red Feather, it literally is just this deck in shrink wrap is what you get in the mail. So, but again, as far as a deal, $10 for this beautiful deck with shipping included is absolutely unbelievable. So anyway, I just wanted to share with everybody exactly what the comparison was between these two decks so that you can really get a sense of the difference and whether or not, you know, it's going to be worth it to you to invest in the smaller edition, you know, if you're somebody who really loves this deck, or, you know, maybe you already have the large edition and you don't care about having the box and the guidebook and you'd rather just have the small edition, in which case you can just order this direct from Red Feather and it is an incredible deal. So anyway, I just wanted to share this with everybody so you could really get a good sense of what you're getting, the differences between the two, or lack of differences, you know, in terms of the card stock and the artwork and everything like that. And again, this is an absolutely wonderful deck. I'm so excited they came out with a smaller version. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? Now that we've taken a look at it, I'm going to try riffle shuffling it, and let's see how it goes. The cardstock is still very stiff, so I'm going to need to break it in a little bit, but look at that. I riffle shuffled it. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy, you guys. My tiny little sad, weensy hands can actually riffle shuffle this deck. I'm so thrilled. Anyway, so that is the new special small edition of the Gorgon's Tarot. Again, I would direct you to other people's walkthroughs if you want to see every card. I just wanted to get on really quick and show everybody, you know, what the differences are between the large version and the small version. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. Thank you so much. Have a great one, everyone. Bye-bye.